Hey YouTube, 3D Printed Life here, and I am back. I apologize for the lack of videos. I've actually been away on vacation for the past week or so, so I haven't been able to record or post or reply to anything. But I am back, and today is going to be a pretty good video, a little bit about the Eclips3D, but more about exactly my plans on selling it. So, not too much has changed since the last video, obviously, since I was away. I did print a new x-axis slider. The old one, this guy, it worked well, but the problem was that the heights for the belts weren't exactly right because I changed a few things around, and also I added a little bit to the flange here so that it would hold an end stop. So now you can see that this is on here. I don't have the end stop on it yet, and I apologize for the poor lighting. Black filament doesn't really help, but it's on there, so I'm going to be starting using this guy once I get all the belts hooked up and everything. But really, the printer is getting pretty close to being finished. The Z-axis is all done. This stuff's all good. The frame is fine. Everything there is good. The Y sliders are pretty much fine. I don't think I'm going to change anything. They're working pretty awesomely. I love the aluminum plate here. I wish I thought of that sooner. It makes this whole thing so much more rigid. So really what I have left to do is redesign this X slider so that, first of all, I have to fix the, you can't really see it, but I attempted to make a mount for a fan, this guy, but the dimensions weren't exactly right. So I'm going to be fixing that and then putting a little fan duct in to cool the print head. On top of that, I'm going to be changing how you secure the belts. Right now I have these pretty nifty little guys. Basically, they're just these little blocks with a groove and then a little slot cut out. And that allows you to loop the belt through the slot, and you fold it back on itself, and then you can bolt it in, and well, I can't really do this with one hand, but you bolt it in and it holds the belt there, and it looks really nice and pretty. But the problem with that is that when you unscrew them, it doesn't save where the belt was, like this. It's really easy to accidentally move the belt. So if you just want to take the belt off for servicing purposes, you have to re-find exactly where you had it to get the proper tension, and that's kind of a pain. So I'm going to be redesigning those so that it holds the belt even when it's not bolted in, so it's not relying on being bolted in to hold the belt from slipping. And I'm also going to change probably the back side, because the front I have this fan cooling duct in the way. So that basically I'm going to have it how I had the old system, where I have on one side of the belt they're both going to be anchored, and the other side they're going to be connected to each other and allowed to float. So basically that makes sure that the tension in both belts is the same, because there is two distinct belts with the Core XY system, and they are entirely separate of one another. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically join them together so the tensions are the same, and then I'm going to fasten down that little block that connects the two belts so that they don't move at all. And the reason I have to do that is because I was noticing a bit of shimmying when moving in certain directions with the old block. It might be fixed with this new block, but I don't think it will be. I think it's more having to do with the belt tension. So changing that should fix the vibration issue, and it should make things better and a lot quieter like they used to be with the old Y slider. And I see no reason why I shouldn't be able to get it that quiet again, because essentially all I did was make the X, or I guess it's the X gantry, a bit more rigid. So then after that, after the X slider block is all done, I'm going to be working on getting the end stops all hooked up. With the end stops right now, I have the Y1 in place already, I have the Z1 in place, and I have a spot for the X1. So really it's not going to be too difficult to get them all synchronized and working together. The Z-axis will likely not change too much. I do want to keep it simple with the Z-axis. There's really no reason to make it complicated. I just have this easy adjustable thing. The reason this is so long is in case you have a different hot end. If you build your own block or something like that, it'd be easy enough to use this same piece and just slide it down. With this one, it's going to require a bit more work, and I believe I already fixed the stuff in the block. I just have to reprint it. With this one, it's really fine. It should work no problem. The problem is getting the triggers for the end stops. So here you can see there's a bit of a gap, so I'm going to have to bridge that with something somewhere. With this one, I should just be able to add a little extension onto one of these and trigger that, and the Z-axis is good. So after that, the end stop should be all set. So once the end stops are all hooked up and the X slider is all refined and finished, I'm going to be working on the less necessary aspects, but I mean still necessary aspects of the printer. I'm going to be getting the heated bed hooked up with some proper gauge wire. I'm going to be getting the panels done. Really the only important panel that I'm going to worry about at first is this base panel that the power supply and the ST printer controller will connect to. Sorry, it's a little dark under there. Really getting those mounted is my top priority as far as the panels go, but also I'll be working on getting all of the panels. I already have the side ones are good. The back one I believe should be good. Just getting the top and the front one, and I believe I can modify the base one to work. So once I have all of that together and have all the panels done and everything like that is functioning, I'm going to be working on the next stage, which will be obviously selling the printer. Now, my original plan was to do a Kickstarter, and I still may do that. I don't know why it's focused in Mac right now. I apologize. Hopefully it figures itself out soon, please. So my original plan was to do a Kickstarter, but I don't really like that for two main reasons. First of all, the price, the fee they charge, it's not absurd, but it's pretty high. I believe it's something like 5 or 6%, which it doesn't seem like a ton, but when you think about it, that's going to end up being like $40 of the price of the printer. That's just going to be Kickstarter fees, and there's still the Amazon payment fees. So that's quite a bit. But secondly, it's a huge pain to get a whole Kickstarter campaign put together and run it and manage it and all that stuff. So what I was possibly thinking of instead is just getting a website, basically essentially doing the same thing as a Kickstarter, but on my own website, having it where you can pre-order the printer. Then at a certain point, the pre-orders will close, and I will work on fulfilling all of those. And of course, the whole time I'll be fully contactable via email support. I'll try to get probably a forum set up if that's the case, and basically just try to do it all on my own instead of through Kickstarter, which sounds like it should be harder, but I think in reality it'll end up being easier. I won't have to deal with all of the Kickstarter odds and ends. I will have to probably set up like a mailing list for people who pre-order it, because I don't want people to feel out of the loop. And the other problem would be getting the word out there of the printer. The YouTube channel here does a pretty good job at it. I got like 100-something responses on that little interest survey, and the majority were of 5 or above as far as how interested they were. So that is a good sign, but I do want to get the word out there even more. So I was thinking possibly even just posting, obviously posting more videos online, but posting videos of the quality, contacting tech bloggers and stuff like that, just letting them know that I'm basically doing my own thing, avoiding Kickstarter altogether to try to start up my printer, stuff like that, and then hopefully that might end up working out, but I'm still not sure. I still may go for Kickstarter, but if I do end up going to my own website, I'd definitely be looking into essentially like hiring somebody else to do it, or just finding one of those fancy websites where it's really you just drag and drop what you want in it. If I can find one of those that's good, that's free or cheap, then I'll probably end up going with that. So that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think, if you think I should still go through with the Kickstarter or if I should end up doing it on my own. Again, doing it on my own would likely save a fair chunk of money for each person. So really I'm not too sure at this point, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards the website. And additionally, that would make it better in case I do want to continue producing them after the Kickstarter or initial campaign. If I already have a website set up, that would be much easier to do so. So not really sure. Again, let me know what your thoughts are on that, and thoughts on the printer upgrade if you have any, or the upgrades I will be making. And that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And that will be all. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all later.